Happy Wednesday, everybody. Today we're going to work on weathering this. All right, so Empty Wallet Wednesdays going forward are going to be, uh, more honing our skills, or my skills in this case, and really try to get my weathering capabilities to the next level. So this is gonna kind of be unfiltered, and you're gonna see all my mistakes and stuff, but this is really about building skills and trying to make some really nice looking rolling stock with some affordable options. What you got in front of you here is some unknown piece of rolling stock that I picked up as part of a lot, and it is relatively detailed, and it's kind of nice looking, but it has some shelf wear on it from the previous owner. That's okay. We're going to put that to use today. And it already has a little bit of body damage. If you can see there, we're missing a ladder, and got some of the studs that hold this bar here broken off. So since it's not in perfect condition, if we make a couple mistakes, it's not really going to be the biggest deal. So I did some prerequisites here. I went ahead and took the trucks off. We're gonna paint these, and I don't quite have the space to bust out the airbrush yet, but we're gonna get there, maybe in some future videos. So we're gonna do brush painting on those. We're gonna do a little bit of weathering, but the main thing I want to do is apply some graffiti decals to this particular model. And the reason why I chose it is kind of our first model, is I've yet to find a good supplier for water transfer decals, and the issue I'm running into is all of them that I've bought do not have printed whites on them, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I go ahead and start getting the backing to come off of this this decal. So for the time being, we are going to be doing white or light colored rolling stock until I can find a better supplier for my decals. But the quality of these seems to be pretty decent, as long as you keep that in mind. I went ahead and pre-cut it out because that can be a little time consuming. They're not very big, so I usually do it with an X-Acto knife, but I try to get relatively close to the actual printed image as I can. Too much surrounding clear film can kind of show up a little bit easier, especially on camera when you've got the lights just blaring on it. We will need this for the trucks, and this was a used piece of rolling stock, so it has two different sets of micro trains. So we are going to paint the air hose on that set just to kind of try and make them match a little bit better. And then for the actual decal application, I have some cut up pieces of paper towel. We've got micro sol and micro set. And if you haven't used this stuff before, I'll go over it a little bit, but it is the end all for getting your decals to properly apply and lay smooth on most surfaces. And I also have a little bit of lukewarm water sitting here, and we will go ahead and just jump right in. So while we're getting started here, I'm just going to go ahead and set the decal in the warm water and let it start to saturate the backing film there. At this point, I have already went ahead and put clean this up with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol just to make sure there wasn't anything on it, and we're going to go ahead and apply a little bit of the micro set to the area in which I want to apply the decal. Has a bit of a vinegar smell to it, so a little off-putting. And bear with me, I am working around a camera here, so this is a little bit finicky. There we are. And try not to mix these up. I don't know that it would cause any issues, but they are different chemicals, for lack of a better word, so I don't know that you want to mix these two up. So have two separate brushes for applying. And if we look at our decal here, if you tap it just a little bit in the water, eventually you will see the backing film, there it is, just fall away. And now for the hard part, getting this onto the model on camera here. Okay. So now all we're going to do is, it fell into place relatively easily, so we're just going to lightly dab away some of the extra. And we're going to set that aside to just kind of let that the water or micro set film kind of evaporate away. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and get our first layer of paint on our trucks. There we are. And I got nothing but time today, so we're going to do this lightly and in a bunch of coats. Okay, we'll let that start to dry. This should have had enough time now to go ahead and flash a little bit. So now we start doing a little bit of microsol. And on these tank cars, it's not going to be the biggest deal because they're relatively smooth as it is. But when we start doing some of the box cars with really defined, what do I want to call it, ribbing in the outer exterior there, it's going to really help soften the decal and help it conform to the ins and outs of those sides of the box car. So what we're going to do is just apply a little bit of this, and it does not take much. Yeah, there it goes, perfect. And I don't know if you can see it on camera. All it takes is just a little bit to get a sheen on there. There it is. That's all you really need. And then you just kind of got to sit back and let that start to, well, essentially degrade the decal. It's breaking it down a little bit to make it a little more malleable and flexible. Go ahead and grab these again. Add just a little bit more. normally wouldn't worry about this, but this is a tank car, so some of this will be visible. So we'll go ahead and just see if it looks any different. This is kind of going to be an experimentation series, so we'll just see how she goes here. And we're not going to overdo it. We're just going to keep adding light coats just to see how things look. And yeah, if you kind of look down, we lost some of our sheen, so that's probably got a good amount of work done. So let's just go ahead and add one more coat of Microsol here and see if I can get some of the ridges to come through. So now this coat, I'm going to be a little heavier about application. All right, that's not looking too bad. So I think for today, that's a good start. We are going to let that thoroughly dry, and then we're going to do a little bit of paint weathering on this, and that'll be a good start for next week's episode. All right, again, this is going to kind of be a continuous episode. We'll just keep adding onto it week by week and see what we end up with at the end. So I will catch you guys next Wednesday, and tune in for the rolling stock review this Friday. We got something cool. Have a good week. Bye now.